What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Extra Point Podcast.
What's up?
Welcome back. This is episode 4, I believe.
Episode 4.
We lasted a whole month, Charles.
Bro, we're doing it.
Which is a lot longer than
this is a real thing.
a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, this is a real thing.
If you would have told me a month ago
that you didn't believe in us?
If you would have told me a month ago that we'd be 4 episodes in,
I would have doubted too.
Low key.
Yeah.
Listen, the podcast world's scary and dangerous, and I don't like it. But I like this specific podcast.
Yeah, this is fun.
I love you guys.
It's really fun. And again, as always, remember, 2 pastors, love Jesus,
so much.
love sports, believe sports are a good thing from God to be enjoyed in its proper place. That's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And so, hey, pray real quick. Let's get rolling with
Let's go for it.
Let's do it.
All right, bow your heads with us. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to first and foremost say thank you. Thank you for bringing us here today. Thank you for waking us up. Thank you for the breath in our lungs, Father. We don't want to take it for granted. It's a miracle that we're here today. We want to give you glory for it, Jesus. I pray that you would bless this episode, bless this conversation that me and Charles have. I pray that it would just be one that is beneficial to everybody, not just ourselves, that we'd be able to receive and be encouraged by this episode. And just be with us. Let your presence overtake us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And hey, we mean it too. If you all have any prayer requests, things that you're going through, or just questions about the Christian faith, we would love nothing more if you to send us a DM. Yeah. We'd love to get back to you and pray with you and talk with you and help you as we can, right?
Yeah.
And we mean that.
I really do.
We would respond.
I will.
In 48 hours.
And I run the page, so I'll respond.
Yeah, it'll be on him. No, we'll both respond.
Or Natalie.
Yeah,
Natalie
someone will respond.
Too.
Hey, but so we are, round 2 of the playoffs has ended.
Ready? Make sure to like and subscribe, please.
Oh, we forgot.
Like and subscribe. It actually means a lot, and
share
we need
it.
it.
Y'all got friends that love Jesus in sports, so share this thing. And if you got friends that love sports and don't know Jesus, this is an easy little segue.
I looked at the analytics. Over half of y'all watch this video don't even subscribe to the channel.
That's like stealing.
What y'all doing? You're breaking our hearts here.
What is that?
You're breaking our hearts.
All right, but listen, today is May 19th. Round 2 of the NBA playoffs has officially ended. It ended in a not very exciting fashion yesterday with Game 7 of the Nuggets and the Thunder. But so all the games are over. Of course, we got Knicks and Pacers. We got Wolves and Thunder. Before we get to them, let's just do an official closing the door, round 2 exit talk, kind of talking over each team, what went wrong and what do they do from here. All right, so let's start with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh, this is a hot topic. I feel like
the Cleveland Cavaliers. We talked a little bit before recording, and yeah, we're a little on different pages. But for just watching the series, what's kind of just your instant reaction? You don't have to get too deep, but just overall takeaway from the Cavs' performance.
My overall takeaway is, first of all, Donovan Mitchell is not the problem.
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell showed up. I feel like every night the man was showing up, and he was hurt that last game. I feel like the whole series, I think he was hurt, and he showed up and played.
Yeah.
My overall takeaway was, I don't think they really need to change anything, right? I think if they just run it back with a healthy squad, Darius Garland was hurt, Mobley was hurt, DeAndre Hunter was hurt, and I mean, even that in itself, I heard it wasn't even that serious of an injury. Like, they could have played. What they really need is, I feel like they need a veteran in that locker room. They need a James Johnson, a Steven Adams. Like, Tristan Thompson ain't it, right? They need somebody who can literally encourage them from the locker room. Bruh, I know your hand hurting. I know you might not be feeling good, but we have Donovan Mitchell showing out by himself every single night. We had no doubt that Donovan Mitchell was going to play every game, and we had no doubt that he was going to give it his all. It was the other dudes that we were just like, bro, if you knew Darius Garland wasn't going to be in game 1, why are you not playing game 2, Evan Mobley and what's his name, DeAndre Hunter? Like, regardless of if your knee hurts or if your hamstring hurts, like, you got to play through that, because this man had no help out there. He really didn't.
Can I give you some stats real quick?
Give it to me, man. You about to expose me?
No. It enforces exactly what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So these are for the series against the Pacers, not the whole playoffs, for the series.
Show it.
This is what the Cavs players average. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Your boy Donovan.
Go.
34.2 points.
What else can you ask for?
34.2 points.
What else can you ask for?
And what do you think?
The next highest?
The second highest score was Evan Mobley. What do you think he averaged?
16?
18.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
34.2.
Pathetic.
No one in the 20s.
Nobody.
No number 2. No
That's
number
sad.
2.
That's sad. And
now, Mobley getting 18 as a 3? Sure.
Yeah.
No number 2. Garland. You know what he averaged?
Probably 12, 13.
14.
Yeah.
Next up, Jared Allen. You know what he averaged?
10, 9.
12.
Oh,
12.8.
I'm lowballing.
Max Strus. You know what he averaged?
On 8.
12. You're lowballing all of them.
Because it felt like they did nothing that entire series.
Tyson, 11. DeAndre Hunter, 9. Your boy Ty Jerome,
He just ruined all of his free agent stock, I feel like, because he's a free agent now this offseason.
Bro, he was so high going into this season.
I know, but the playoffs is where you make or break that contract, and he did nothing for himself.
4.
All right, now we're just getting to the bums. And he starts at the 3. Yeah. That's sad.
Well, he only averaged 16 minutes a game.
I know, but so still. It's so weird because throughout the entire regular season, I mean, they were juggernauts. Like that backcourt with Darius Garland and Donovan, like they were jumping.
They were great.
And I mean, I knew going into the series that like Donovan Mitchell had to at least score 30, but Darius needed to bounce back with at least 20. But injuries happen, man, and now we're here.
He couldn't do it, and so there's no denying Mitchell's greatness. I mean, we looked it up. He's 7th all time in average points per game for the playoffs. So there's no denying his greatness and stuff. Now this is you were specific to say you don't think Donovan's a problem, and so. I'm not trying to say Donovan's the problem, but you have to look at history. And what we do know is he's been in the playoff, 8 times between Utah and Cleveland, and your boy has never made it past the second round.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying you can't overlook that.
Yeah.
Just because he has high points.
Yeah,
that's
definitely a valid point, but you also have to bring reality into it. He was going up against prime Golden State, right, during their juggernaut era and when he was with the Jazz. And then he gets to Cleveland. And, I mean, the Celtics are a dynasty.
The Jazz, didn't they end up losing to
Mavericks,
early Luka and Jalen Brunson?
Yeah, they did. That was a bubble, right?
No, that was after the bubble. That was in 21, I think. 21, 22. But they weren't supposed to.
But even that team, like.
They weren't supposed to lose. I'm just saying that it's kind of like this.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't supposed to lose these games.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not like.
Not every series has been like that. I agree.
And it's also like Donovan Mitchell, you just said it. He's showed up every series. I feel like he's averaged more in the playoffs.
No, I get it. And if we were to look back at his tenure with the Jazz, I'm sure we can look.
Like it's different. It's different than a James Harden. It's different than like those dudes who
because they failed to show up.
Exactly. He doesn't fail to show up. I think Game 7 he had a stinker, Donovan Mitchell, but I mean that was like
he still did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was trying to put the team on his back.
Exactly.
It's not. And it was a blowout.
I don't think he just needs some help, bro. He needs help.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to say Cavs need to get rid of Mitchell. All I'm saying is,
why would you get rid of the one guy who?
No, I know. I'm just saying that as far as his legacy goes, we are seeing his ceiling so far.
Yeah.
And he's just going to become one of those players who is great. He'll go down as one of the great scorers, but it's just.
And that team, they had the talent to get to at least the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
They really did.
And that's where I do think some of it, you mentioned them lacking a veteran. I mean, Donovan is a veteran.
He is.
And so I do think he's showing up consistently. He's scoring. But I do think there's an argument to be made, is he not being a good enough leader for those guys?
I mean,
is he not calling these guys
I feel like
higher?
What's bigger than obviously we always say all the time, actions speak louder than words. I don't think he can set a better example than what he was doing this playoff. On the court. Like he's showing up throughout injury, like throughout whatever's going on. He's showing up and dropping almost 50 points a game.
All I'm saying is it's not translating. It's not
I mean, this era is just, they're soft. That's all it is, bro. They're sitting out because they got a hurt knee or a hurt toe.
Nah, that could be what it is. And again, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but.
Get my man some help.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
What they need, listen to this. Are you opposed to this? Braun's a free agent.
Go back to Cleveland.
What if we get a homecoming for Braun to end out his career?
A second homecoming.
I mean, they have a well-balanced team.
They have a great team.
They have all the pieces right now.
Yeah.
If they get Braun in that locker room, can you imagine Bronny and Braun in Cleveland?
I'll bring them both.
Oh, that's a package deal. You have to.
I mean, that would be, yeah.
Just saying, he's a free agent this season.
Packaging Mitchell with, that would be actually really solid.
They need a 3.
That'd be really solid. But I think that's the hard part is when you have such a successful regular season, yet failed, and not even like closely failed, but like fail the way they did.
Yeah.
It makes the offseason really hard.
Yeah. Because you can't tell, because in reality, we have to be real. Injuries plagued them in the playoffs. So it's like, do you try to change something up when in the regular season you saw so much success, and it's just what happened was players got hurt. So it's like, do you want to break up that nucleus when we saw them? We saw the potential with them. I don't know. I feel like you have to keep it the same and just bring in
But I will just say Mitchell,
Draymond Green or somebody.
Even though you're awesome, you're scoring hot, but you are on the hot seat. I just feel like as far as your legacy goes, man, he is. He's got to get past the second round.
Yeah, he did everything he could.
He did. He's got to get past the second round.
All right.
Moving on. Our other losers of the East, the Boston Celtics. Bro, I mean, I pretty much called it. You know what I mean?
No, you didn't.
I mean, I pretty much.
Show the clip. Roll the clip.
I pretty much called
Roll the
it.
clip. Celtics in 5.
Get this thing. I said they're good. You made me say that.
Shut up.
Yeah, dude. I said this was going to go on. But when it comes to the Celtics, man, I mean,
yeah, we can't really.
They stuck to their guns. They ran their system. They ran their plays. It worked really well for them. Game 3. And they balled out. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work so well for them Game 1, Game 2. Game 4, it worked well for them. Mm-hmm. No, Game 5, I'm sorry. Game 3 and Game 5, it worked well for them. And Game 6 was actually their worst shooting performance came in the last game. But get this. Their best shooting game was in Game 5.
Was that the game Tatum got hurt?
That was no Tatum.
Oh, that was no Tatum.
Yeah. Tatum got hurt in Game 3. Mm-hmm. And they played pretty good. But then the Knicks played really good. That was I think the game
Tatum didn't get hurt Game 3. He got hit Game 4.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He hurt Game 4. And I think the game was already out of reach when Tatum went down.
He was, yeah.
Like, he went down right at the 3-minute mark. OG got the steal.
Still down.
Knicks were up by, I think, 8 or 9 or 10 at that
over.
point. So I think it was over. They played well. The next game, Game 5, they shot. That was the first game without Tatum. They shot lights out, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek White couldn't miss a basket. Oh, it was so
But that was
the
NBA set that up.
Jaylen Brown was, but then Game 6 was
reality kicked in.
I mean, bro, I don't think, again, if you would have told me the Knicks would be up, they were up by, at one point, I think 42 was the biggest lead, 43 in the third quarter. I mean, that's insanity.
That's so interesting. I feel like every Game 7 we had in this playoffs were blowouts.
Well, that was Game 6, but it was still the close.
Oh, yeah, closeout games were blowouts.
And I think just because you get to a team to that, stretching them out so much to that breaking point, I think the ones that show up, it's just, they just
but with Boston, man, I mean, there's not really much to say. I mean, we talked about it before.
Yeah.
A lot of the people they're gonna have to get rid of, like the Porzingises, like they're too over the luxury cap. They can't really bring them back, like the Drew Holidays.
I know Horford, Cornette.
Free agents.
Contracts are out. Holiday.
So it seems like that. I don't want to say, but that dynasty seems like it's just.
Well, it's gonna be interesting.
I think we've seen the peak of what that Celtics team was gonna be.
I know. Yeah, and this Tatum injury.
Yeah, he's gonna be done. So at least like what?
He's out all next year for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
he'll come back fall of 26.
Yeah, sadly, Celtics fans.
But it will be. And again, he can come back. He's what, 28.
Yeah,
he can come back. He can come back and still be one of the best players in the league. I'm not worried about that. But it is the core of kind of what you try to do. Mm-hmm. But Jaylen Brown is still a $300 million man.
He is.
Like, he's getting paid.
Yeah, so now it's time for him to prove that.
Yeah.
Right? He's the number one.
He proved that Game 5.
Yeah.
And then Game 6, he was – again, I think he kind of did – he was the only person that can make a bucket Game 6.
Yeah.
And then Brunson drew the foul on him, and he fouled out in the third quarter. Mm-hmm. And it was just –
yeah.
No
we'll
hope
see. We'll see what happens.
I
don't think I think they're not going to make the playoffs next year. I don't think that's even a hot take to say. I don't think they make the playoffs next year.
See, I think that's a little crazy because there's still a good...
I think the teams are just getting better. Yeah. I feel like the Magic are getting better, right? I feel like the Hawks are going to make moves.
But to not make the play, especially with the play-in now, I think they're gonna be at least in the 8 to 10 range.
I don't think so. I think they're going to lose. Porzingis, I think, is gone. Drew's gone. Horford, he might come back on like a veteran minimum. Cornette, he's going to get a big, nice paycheck from somebody.
Yeah.
Tatum's gone. It's just him, Derek White, which is, I mean, in reality,
no, but
that in itself,
Brown, Derek White, Pritchard.
Yeah, that in itself should you have an Olympian with Derek White. He was on the Olympics.
Yeah,
somebody who's the highest paid NBA player of all time, or second highest, whatever.
Finals MVP.
They should have a decent enough roster to make the playoffs. I just don't think that they have that dog in them.
I think they'll make it.
No.
I don't think they'll go very far.
Yeah,
but I think they'll still make
it. Either way,
Our main point is they're not going to
down year. Our main point is they're not the same anymore.
No, it'll be a down year for sure.
RIP Celtics.
But they play like Jaylen Brown. He averaged 21. Derek White, he averaged 20. Pritchard averaged 14.
Man, that's not enough.
But those are solid,
but like especially compared to last year, like Jaylen Brown was. I feel like last year his averages were way higher.
I know he was a little hurt too. Like he wasn't fully healthy throughout.
Soft,
but he's still being paid to be that guy.
Soft.
Yeah, but that really was just a series of living and dying by the 3-pointer.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes you wonder, like, I mean, obviously you can't take away last year's championship, but, I mean, everything went right for them last year. Because they had those games where they didn't shoot well and they'd lose, but it never was beyond. I feel like only one game a series they experienced.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, man, maybe luck was on their side. But what I'm seeing, I feel like in today's version of the playoffs, like what we're seeing today, is like that old school version of NBA is winning, right? Yeah. It's like the mid-range specialists, the not settling for three-pointers, like the Jalen Brunsons, the SGAs, like those are the teams right now that I feel
still
like
shooting a lot of threes, but not depending.
They're not living and dying on it, right? Absolutely. Like that, especially the Jalen Brunsons, especially the SGAs. Like those two dudes they're getting to their spot in the mid-range, and that's where they're dominating right now.
That does make a difference. I mean, it opens up the whole game.
Yeah, it does.
Not dependent on that, and so Celtics fans, I mean, I am sorry. No one wants to see someone get hurt, especially the way Tatum got hurt. Nobody wants to see that. That's
a bummer.
And Tatum, we are praying for this guy, and you should too. Like you want to see this guy get better, and we want to pray that this. Like, I mean, whenever someone has an injury like this, I have no idea Tatum's faith life, but the prayer is that God is able to use this catastrophe for His good, to get him to draw closer to Jesus, to depend on Jesus. I mean, I can't imagine when that's your profession, having to recover from something like this. And but I know if you have the Lord and you're following Him, man, He's going to be able to give you that perspective, that endurance, that strength, to see the beauty in the middle of this just tough season.
For sure. And I'm pretty sure he is a believer, but I have no doubt that he'll bounce back and still be like a high level player. I think KD had that same injury, right? But he was, 34 probably.
Yeah, but he still came back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I have no doubt that he'll come back and still be a top tier player. But yeah, prayers up for JT, man.
100%. But Celtics, bye-bye.
Bye.
See you next year. All right, let's move on to the West. So the Golden State Warriors. I mean, I feel like we could talk a lot about them or really just kind of move on. It's just
ugly. There's so many things we can go with.
There's so many things to say about them. Yeah. Kuminga, you know what he averaged for?
So I want to go on a limb and say that. I apologize, Jonathan Kuminga.
You know what he averaged?
25. No. 20 off the bench.
Yep.
Last week, I think it was last week's episode, or the week before that, I said Kuminga was like just not doing anything.
He came at him.
But I really
looked it up.
42
from 3.
The main problem, he was just not getting minutes.
Yeah.
Like Steve Kerr was just not playing this man.
Didn't believe in him.
They're playing Trace Jackson Davis over this dude.
Yeah,
and whenever he got in the game, he showed why. Like he's a promising young star.
Yep.
And he just said it. He's off the bench averaging 20 points. And he's shooting high percentages too.
42 from the 3. That's great.
Yeah.
And Jimmy averaged 20, which you just need more.
Yeah,
he had the one good game.
Jimmy's just older. I think they got to get rid of it. What's his contract? Did they re-sign him?
I honestly don't know, but I don't think that problem is get rid. I think
you have to do something else with that team. They're not.
No, but I think Jimmy, he's in the stage of his career where he can be a solid number 2.
Maybe
it's just with Steph going down, he was forced to step in the number 1 role. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they need more shooting on that team. I think they need a big man.
Yeah, I mean Draymond had a fine.
Draymond's obviously not it anymore.
It's just. Yeah,
I don't know what they do with Golden State, to be honest, but they got to do something.
They got to
do something. They got to figure it out because that team is just not built to win. It's not. Like we just saw it. You're one Steph injury away from looking like a non-playoff team.
That really exposed.
The games never looked close.
No, never.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Wolves were like baiting them to win. They could have easily.
Yeah, the Wolves weren't even playing great. That's the thing. So like
the Warriors,
they've got to do something, bro.
Yeah,
they've got to do something.
But I mean, we can move on. Steph, praying for your hammy, man.
He's the only dude I rock with on that team. Literally, it's only Steph.
That's fair. All right, then we go on to the Denver Nuggets. Crushing loss at home.
R.I.P.
yesterday. Let me give you the box score for yesterday, okay? 8 points, Aaron Gordon. Now we know he had an injury.
Yes, hamstring.
But he fought through.
Which is shout out to Aaron Gordon.
25 minutes, 8 points.
Shout out to Aaron Gordon.
Michael Porter Jr., 6 points. Jamal Murray, 13 points. Now, Jokic had 20. Braun had a 19. That's great.
This is Game 7?
This is Game 7.
Game 7. Yeah.
Listen to this. Gordon, 8. Porter, 6. Jamal, 13. I mean, that's what, 27?
Combined. That's insane.
From those 3 guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I want to give huge ups to Aaron Gordon, right? I mean, to play through a hamstring injury, that is not fun.
Sure.
Like that, I've heard is like one of the worst injuries you can play with, right?
It's 26, not 27. Keep
Huh?
going.
Whatever.
Keep going.
Yeah, he showed up this series. I don't think he was a problem at all. I mean, we can go on a
No, I get it. I'm not at all targeting
No, I know.
him.
We're just talking
I
about
am
the box
targeting
score.
Porter and Jamal Murray, though.
Yeah, and even Porter Jr.,
1,000,000%.
like I've heard reports that he was dealing with like a shoulder injury or something.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, you saw he was
Okay.
wearing that shoulder thing in the
Yeah.
games. But like, bro, he is not it. They've got to get rid of him this offseason.
Yeah, he's not.
They've got to get rid of him this offseason. And I heard like there was a report like the owner of the team is from, or he graduated from Mizzou, and that's where like MPJ went to. So he has like some ties to him where he feels like he can't let him go because it's like they're doing something dirty to Missouri. But like they're not. Michael Porter Jr. is just not it, bro.
You gotta let him go.
You gotta let him go.
He's holding your back, man.
And it sucks to see because I don't want to say we're not wasting like Jokic's prime years, but like they had the formula with Bruce Brown, with KCP, like with all those dudes on their bench. And like I don't understand what was the point of getting rid of them.
Yeah, and I remember we none of us predicted them to really.
No, we predicted them to win.
No, we did once they. But I'm saying before the playoffs even started, expectations were dampered with the firing of Malone as the coach
exactly.
and all this stuff
for sure.
And so,
I think if they had Malone, I feel like they would have won that series.
If they what?
If they had Mike Malone,
it's very possible.
Yeah.
But Jamal Murray, man, 1 for 8 from 3, 6 for 16 from the field. Jokic almost had a triple double. I mean, he had 20.
Yeah,
he had 9 boards, 7 assists. And for the series, Jokic averaged 28.4. He averaged 13.9 rebounds, and then 6 assists. Like he had a great series.
Yeah, but that's a low, which is crazy to say, but that's like a low. That's a knockoff for his usual performances. But again, I mean, shout out to Mark Dagnon of the Thunder. They played him great, man. Like Hartenstein, Chet, they were playing him, bro, and they were forcing the other dudes to beat him, and that's what lost Denver that game. I mean, and my boy Russ, like.
He didn't play good, man.
Oh, man. There were stretches where it was hard to watch. And I love Russ. I love him so much. There were stretches where
he just played hero ball.
But there was a specific one. I can't remember if it was game 6 or game 7. I think it was game 6 where, like, there was a 2-minute stretch where he had 2 missed layups and 3 turnovers, like, in a row.
Yeah.
And I was like, that hurts.
He just doesn't have it anymore. Like, not.
But I don't think that's fair to say because he had, I think, game 1 or game 2, he had, like, 19 or 20 off the bench. One of those games. Yeah. And in the regular season, he was pivotal for them. Like,
no, I'm not saying he can't add value to a team.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's not someone that's able to – I don't think you can depend on him for stretches of runs during games. And that's all I'm trying to say. Like,
you definitely can't.
That's not what he can bring to a team anymore.
They need another star to pair up with Jokic.
Yeah.
They need somebody.
Like Murray's still – he's still that guy. He's good.
Yeah,
he
but like
20.
The experiment, it's just not – it's not doing it anymore, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, they won the chip a couple years ago, but like since then, he hasn't really. He had a good series against who was it in round 1? I can't remember who they played round 1. The Clippers.
Yeah.
He had a good series against them, but he didn't really do much this series, right?
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean
they got to surround Jokic or somebody.
Hard to look past.
Imagine Donovan Mitchell.
Hard to look past 13 points in Game 7.
Donovan Mitchell.
Oh,
in Denver.
that would be elite.
They're going to the finals.
Him and Jokic would be incredible.
Oh my, that's the perfect pairing for him because Jamal Murray. They would have to give up Jamal Murray obviously to get Donovan Mitchell, but like that's what Jokic's need. That's what he needs. And Jamal Murray is a knockoff version of Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, because when Jamal's on, he's great, but he's
inconsistent.
You cannot go 1 for 8.
Yeah, and he's not the greatest on defense. People know that.
Yeah,
but MPJ better learn Chinese or something, bro.
He's going overseas.
You gotta learn Chinese, bro. You can't average. I wonder what his average was for the series. Do you have that?
For the series, 7.
Oh my god, he got a bag too. Like not last year, but the year before that.
He shot 25% from 3.
Oh my gosh, that's 32 sad.
From the field.
That's sad.
It's bad.
That's really bad. And again, I feel like Aaron Gordon, don't touch him. He stays. He's the perfect forward.
He shot 44 from
He's the
3.
perfect power forward for Jokic.
Yeah.
Perfect power forward.
He plays great with him.
Yeah. But like Braun and Julian Strother, like those dudes, they're good, but like they're just They're getting too much up. They need.
We'll see. I mean, I'm sure they're going to end up. I don't know about the interim. I can't remember his name. Like, I'm not sure what the plan is with him. If they're going to extend him or not. I would imagine they're not going to extend him. And the team's probably going to look different next year. They got to find a new culture.
I hope so.
Yeah, they got to figure that out.
I hope so.
Anything you want to say about these 4 losers, or want to move on?
Nah, that's it. I feel like we wasted enough time on them.
Dang, wasted. We're really beating them up.
It hurts not seeing Russ get a ring, though. That's what I will say.
There's still chance. There's still time.
I don't know, because he's a free agent this offseason too, and I don't know.
Come to New York, baby. We'll give you 1 minute a game. And
okay, no, Tibbs will play him 30.
No. Tibbs only plays 7 guys. Russ wouldn't be played.
Russ would play over campaign.
Not over McBride though.
I feel like he would. He's better than McBride.
Well, okay.
That's right what Loki. That's what the Knicks need is a Russ in that locker room.
Bro, right now we're going so off the script right now.
We'll get to that because I know.
No. That is insane. Russ right now.
Yeah.
Russ is not better than Miles McBride.
Yes, he is.
Yonko.
Pull up the stats, Yonko.
I'll give you the stats.
Pull up Russ's stats from this year and pull up McBride's.
I'm talking about right now through the playoffs, bro.
Pull them up.
Listen,
bro.
Russ, he averaged 9 points
this round.
Yeah.
Russ averaged 13 for the season.
Give us the whole stats. Because he's an all-around player.
He is all around.
And it's not even about his stats, bro. Russ, what you're getting. With
we don't
Russ.
need to go look at the stats. All I'm saying with Miles McBride is when you watch the Knicks, McBride. We don't need the stats, Jonko. It's fine. McBride. He again. It depends on the game script. He might get 5 minutes. He might get 20 minutes. Like it's super. Yeah. It varies by what's going on.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is when you talk about impact, the minutes he's on the floor, he is making a difference.
Yeah. Not as much of a difference as Russ.
See, I think he is. I think Russ is folding a lot of times out there. He's a liability he's turning the ball. You just talked about him having turnovers and bad shots.
He'll have bad games. That's what you expect with Russ. But what you're getting out of Russ is not necessarily the box score. Like he's not going to put up prime Russ numbers anymore. Yeah. But what you're going to have is somebody who's going to be a locker room presence, who's going to set an example for those younger dudes in your locker room. I'm showing out every night, and regardless, bro, I'm crashing offensive rebounds. I'm going for putbacks. I'm playing 100%, regardless if we're down by 50, if we're up by 30.
Yeah.
Like that's what Russ brings to a team, and that's what teams need nowadays. Is like
I hear you, but McBride.
No.
Did you watch this series?
Yes.
Did you see Game 6? Mm-hmm. His impact minutes were through the roof. Mm-hmm. I got to see what he's been shooting through the playoffs from 3. But when he comes in, bro, he is confident. He is hitting his shots, and he's holding it down on defense.
Cool.
He had an incredible chase down block that led to points.
He did.
Transition points in Game 6.
I'm not knocking McBride's game at all. I love him as a player.
Okay.
I'm just taking Russ over. Let me know. Would you rather have Russ or Deuce?
I don't know, man. I would take McBride just at this stages of their career. McBride's only getting better.
All right. Let us know.
He's only getting better.
All right, let's talk about the next one.
Russ isn't.
Yes, he is.
Only getting.
All right, let's go to the next one. Come on, we don't got a lot of time.
Gosh, man, you just want watches. That's all you're doing right here. All right, you just want clips.
Hey guys, really quick, we just want to take a moment just to kind of break away from the video and kind of share something that the Lord's just been prompting on our hearts.
Yep.
As a church, we've been in the book of Acts since January, actually.
Yep.
So we just kind of want to share a little bit of what our pastor's been leading us in, and just Pastor Charles will lead us off with that.
Yeah, and it's something that in Acts 1:8, super famous verse, Jesus told his disciples, his apostles, before he ascended into heaven, he said, "You'll receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you. You'll be my witnesses in Jerusalem, in all Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth." And this is one of those passages where Jesus gave them this. It was the mission of the early church. It's really the table of contents for the book of Acts. And then as we see Acts play out, we see the early church literally doing what Jesus empowered them to do. The Holy Spirit comes for this purpose of empowerment to be a witness in words and deeds in our life, our actions. All of it is meant to be a witness for Jesus Christ. And again, we're not living in Jerusalem. We're not the early church. We're not meant to be a witness in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, ends of the earth. But we are meant to be a witness exactly where we live, in our city, in our neighborhoods, in our schools, in our workplaces. And so if you guys listening, I just want to encourage you for a moment to, maybe you've never really thought about that reality of Jesus is calling you. He's sending his Holy Spirit to fill you, to empower you to be a witness right where you are.
That's
I just
good.
want to challenge you. I mean, odds are you got some coworkers who maybe don't know the Lord. You got some neighbors who maybe don't know the Lord. You got some kids or parents on your kids' sports teams that don't know the Lord in your neighborhoods. And I just want to challenge you with the thought of what if you were to start taking time every day to pray for them. To pray for God to move in their hearts, to pray for the Spirit of God to begin to soften their hearts. And what if you were to hold yourself to having one Jesus conversation a week with these people? It doesn't have to be weird.
That's good.
It doesn't have to be uncomfortable.
No.
Right? It doesn't have to be like, hey, have you accepted the Lord Jesus Christ? Like, it doesn't have to be like that. Like, that's not what it's meant to be.
Of course not.
But being a witness, man, it looks like living it out, being kind, being friendly, taking care of the world around us and treating people with dignity and respect. But then it also looks like talking about the reason of our faith, talking about the person that we've given our lives to.
And when you have that love of Jesus inside of you, genuine love for Jesus, it's so hard for you not to like live that out on a daily basis. Especially when we're entering into our workspaces. I think at our old church in Orlando, I loved when we would drive out of the church parking lot, there was a sign that said, "You are now entering the mission field."
Oh, I love that.
And it's so cool because it is an actual reminder that like, obviously when we leave church, regardless of where we're going, whether it's our next door neighbor or like you mentioned, our work environment, school, picking up our kids, whatever it looks like, every opportunity that we get with somebody outside of the church is an opportunity to win a soul towards Christ. And that, I mean, obviously in Revelations, God talked about that. That's our last commandment. Our greatest commandment is to go and make disciples of all the nations. Right. So and if we really believe that, like, it shouldn't be a difficult topic, but if we believe that hell is a real place, right? Like we should do everything in our power. We have the key. We have the answer to salvation, to eternal life, to a life full of joy and peace. Then we should do everything in our power to share that with people. Yeah.
Go be a witness.
Plural.
Okay. All right. So now before we get into predictions for the next round, I want us to talk through a little bit. What did we learn? Okay. What did we learn from the winners?
From the winners?
Okay. From the winners. So we'll start again, same order. We'll start with Indiana. What did we learn about the Pacers?
That they're the real deal. They're a threat, and that they are here to stay.
Okay.
And the way they play ball, I mean, we said it last episode, they're the hottest team in the playoffs. I feel like they've been playing the best basketball out of all the teams in the playoffs. They've been consistent. Role players are playing their roles. Miles Turner's playing his game. I feel like it's not going to be a walk in the park for New York.
No, for sure. And we're not getting.
I don't know what the odds are. I don't know if you have the odds are for next series. Like who's projected to win, but that's going to be a fun series.
From a lot of what I've seen, I looked at a few different analysts, and it's pretty split from what I've seen.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of guys say Knicks in 6. A lot of guys say Pacers in 6.
It should be, yeah.
But so here's what I've learned about the Pacers, bro, is that they truly have no primary scorer, and that works to their advantage. In some teams, that hurts them because since they lack a primary scorer, when it comes to the moments,
that fourth quarter,
kind of having like for Detroit, for example, like they had Cade, but outside of Cade, they really didn't have someone that was able to consistently bring it.
Tobias Harris. What you talking about?
All right. I think that currently hurt them, right?
For sure.
But for the Pacers, now they might have one guy having a hot game or whatever, but the other guys, it's like they're all ready to go at all times. And I think it's hard to game plan against them because Tyrese is. Again, I think he's proving he is not overrated. He's a legitimate starter, legitimate star in the NBA, and he's dishing it incredibly. He's averaging 9 assists a game right now through the playoffs. And just listen to this, bro. Like, this is the average points so far in the playoffs for the Pacers. Siakam 18.8, Halliburton 17.5, Turner 16.5, Nembhard 14.5, Nesmith 14.5, Benedict 10.9. What was that, 6 guys?
Yeah.
6 guys averaging double digits.
Crazy.
That is incredibly tough to defend.
Doing that.
That is so hard to defend.
Yeah. And to that point of them not having that go-to, I agree to an extent. Like, there's not somebody that's just going to, like, take over and drop 40, right? Like, maybe Tyrese can have one game in a game of 7 with that. But we did see Tyrese multiple times this postseason in that fourth quarter, in the clutch.
No, for sure.
Like, he is their go-to
and I'm
guy,
not trying to say
he won them games.
I'm not trying to say they don't have someone that can do that. I'm just saying the way they're playing, they're not leaning on someone to do that.
For sure.
Like, they're operating in a way to where depending on what the defense throws at them, any player at a given moment is ready to be the person.
For sure.
And that is, I mean,
for sure.
That's incredibly hard to defend.
That's old school basketball right there, man.
That's super hard to defend, man.
It is.
And I mean, So That's what we learned about the Pacers.
Yeah,
the
they're
depth
legit.
is crazy.
They're not
No
overrated.
primary scorer to their advantage.
Pot of respect on their name.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to lose, but respect on their name. All right, now the moment everyone's been waiting for. New York, baby.
New York.
What did we learn about the orange and blue sky New York Knicks?
Yeah. Well, what I learned about the orange and blue is that Jalen Brunson is a top, I don't say top 3 PG in the NBA.
You know, a lot of guys are saying he is the best small guard ever.
Small guard?
Yeah.
Better than Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just saying that.
You're losing me. I ain't agreeing with that.
Come on. Rain him down.
I ain't agreeing with
him
that.
down.
You got to put respect on Chris Paul's name.
Rain him down.
Nah, but listen, it's so cool to see his transformation because obviously coming out of the draft, he was a senior coming out of the college, right? Which is so you don't see that often.
Mm-hmm.
He got drafted. I think he was in the lottery, maybe not, like a late first round. I can't remember.
He was second round, I think.
Second round, right? And then in his first couple of years, he was a primary backup role player. And like to see the Knicks take a chance on him. And at first, I feel like I don't remember what your reaction was. We weren't friends.
Oh,
at
everyone
that
was
time.
mad because that was when Donovan
was
was on the
that's
move.
right.
And everyone in New York was like, we're getting down to
Crazy,
Mitchell.
right?
We're getting down
So,
to
like, just
Mitchell.
to see-
And then we extended R.J. Barrett. We're all like, what is happening? And then we signed Brunson.
To see the way that he has just completely transformed his game.
Bro, he's averaging 28.8 in the playoffs right
Yeah.
now. Like him and SGA are right there for
Yeah.
the leading averages.
Yeah, man. I mean, they have built a perfect squad around him,
Yeah.
I feel like. And, I mean, the winning formula right now, obviously, as we're seeing it, is just you got to
Keep it close.
keep it close, but
and
get the college guys in the room
Keep
together.
it close and let Captain Clutch do his thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best fourth quarter player.
Jalen,
Yeah,
for sure.
He's the best fourth quarter player.
Yeah, he is.
And until he proves us otherwise, if games stay close,
They have their
he's
guy.
They
They have their guy.
They got their guy.
And not only do they have their
he's proving that
guy-
no matter what they're throwing,
Yeah.
he's able to figure it out.
For sure. And not only do they have their guy in the fourth on offense, but they have their guy on defense too, obviously, with Mikal.
I mean, Mikal and OG,
like they have the
unbelievable.
perfect recipe
Yeah.
for a well-balanced team.
100%.
And no, I firmly believe they're gonna. Can you imagine what New York's gonna be like if they make it to the finals?
And,
The city's
city's
New
gonna
York.
burn. But listen,
Shout out Barstool.
their 5 is also averaging double digits through the playoffs. This is impressive. Brunson's averaging 28.8, so pretty much 29.
Yeah.
Cat's averaging 20. OG's averaging 16. Mikal's averaging 15. Josh Hart's averaging 13. Like that's
I mean, it's a little skewed. They're playing 40 minutes a night. So, I mean, you would hope they would get
yeah, but I'm
10
just saying. So
points a game.
that's pretty consistent.
Yeah, I would hope
It's more than just like 11 and 10. We're talking again like for it to be 29, 20, 16. So like that's those are solid numbers.
No, it definitely is.
And their
But
efficiency
they're
numbers are
playing a
great.
lot.
Mitchell Robinson, bro, best backup big man in the league. His defense was
better than Cornette.
come on, get Cornette out. He had one good game.
Better than Cornette.
He
y'all
had one game. Mitchell Robinson, bro, what he did, every Knicks fan's going to know the play I'm talking about. When he came over, he stopped the drive. He then ran out to Jaylen Brown and caused a turnover. It was
I remember.
amazing.
I remember the plays I remember were him getting fouled and looking at the free throw like it was like the scariest thing in the world.
Bro, in games 5 and 6, he shot well from the free throw.
I just remember the air balls.
Yeah, he had those, but he bounced
No,
back, man.
they have a good team, man. Really good team.
And they got the thing right now.
Yeah.
Some teams catch it. They caught it.
Yeah.
They caught it. And what I learned too about them truly is even though Brunson is the guy, I really do think that Cat sets the tone for the team. What I mean by that is when Cat is able to play aggressive and get inside and drive and hit those early shots, it totally changes the dynamic of it. And stay out of foul trouble. It opens up and everyone else plays better.
An aggressive cat is scary.
He's huge.
An aggressive cat is scary, not only because he's huge, but he is a sniper, and he's one of the best shooting big men in the league. And if he starts going, that offense is.
But that's when he is playing like that, it opens up everyone else's game.
Yeah.
But when he's not doing that, and it's just Brunson, everyone else falls out of sync.
I feel like he didn't really shoot the ball much this last series.
No, from 3 he didn't.
Yeah, which I feel
But
like
he played pretty well inside.
regardless, they won, but like I feel like
he played pretty well inside. He averaged 11 boards a game. Like he did his thing.
he played all right.
He did his thing.
He had his moments where I know New York fans were very frustrated at him.
Sometimes.
Not taking advantage of mismatches.
Yeah.
I mean, having Drew Holiday on you,
Or just
not
taking
taking it
bad
down
step
low.
back jump. Yeah, he had some things. Yeah, that definitely
But
weren't
he'll fix it
what
up
we
next
wanted.
series.
Yeah. No, I think it's gonna be a problem against the Pacers. I do. I do. But let's
That's a
keep
fun
going.
matchup.
Wolves.
Miles Turner and him. That's a fun matchup.
What did we learn about the Wolves?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say because that series was so boring, and I feel like it was never close.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about like the winning formula being like old school, take drives to the paint, mid ranges, but like the Wolves, Ant is that modern like chuck it up 11 threes a game type of dude where he's proven that's winning.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't think they've even hit like their stride
Not
yet
at all.
in the playoffs,
They're not
which
hot.
is scary.
It's just scary because if they find it,
Yeah.
here's what to me this is what's huge is Ant's averaging 26.5 and your boy Randall's averaging 24, and both of them consistently playing good and really good. I mean, I don't think anyone expected them to be this fierce of a tandem.
No.
You know, and so with them cooking like this, man, and like to your point, I agree. They've had moments, but they haven't really had like, you can tell they're not playing at their full potential yet.
All around good performance from their entire team.
So if I was a Wolves fan, I would
feel confident.
I would be very confident that as they play the Thunder, this is going to bring the best out of the Wolves.
Yeah.
It's going to bring the best out of them.
And I feel like this is perfect for the NBA.
Oh,
it is because we're getting two of the best young stars in the league with SGA and Ant, like two faces of the league. And then we have Jalen Brunson versus Halliburton, right?
WWE predicted it.
I know. It's just I love shout out WWE. We're gonna start talking about them soon during the offseason.
Probably not.
But like this is we're witnessing the transition of like the next era of basketball. Like
100%.
we don't have a Jokic, we don't have a Braun, we don't have a Curry, we don't have. I mean, even a Tatum for that point because I feel like he's a vet at this point. We don't have any of these people in the finals right now, and it's just like, wow, this is a new age of basketball. We're witnessing it live in our face.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing about the Wolves is we learned that their floor is high.
Yeah,
because they're not playing great, and so but the question mark is just the ceiling. Are they going to turn it on?
I hope so.
Are they going to turn it? And then the Thunder. What did we learn? SGA again, average 29.
They're the best team in the playoffs.
But listen to this: SGA averaged 29. Jalen Williams averaged 19.6. He had a great game 7.
Yeah, he did.
He did show up.
I think game 2.
Chet averaged 16. Hartenstein 10. So talk about the drop off.
Yeah,
that's a pretty steep one for the Thunder.
For sure.
And then from there, Caruso 9, Dort 8.
No, SGA definitely carried them in this round.
He
for
played
sure.
Great in Game 7.
He carried.
Like you look at again, just the MVP thing. Looking at his game compared to Jokic's game for Game 7. I mean, SGA showed out.
No, he definitely did. And I'm so curious as to why they haven't handed out the MVP award yet. Like, give this.
Do they normally wait this long?
I don't know. I feel like it's usually maybe conference finals, but like, give this man his MVP already, bro.
I mean, he's
like,
gonna win it.
Give him the MVP. I mean, yeah, he's definitely gonna win it, and this just solidified it. That Game 7 solidified it. But nah, man, like they are. I know I said the Pacers are playing the best, but the Thunder are the best team in the playoffs for sure right now. And obviously, we can talk about their youth and their like inexperience and all of this stuff. But the fact that they're in the Western Conference Finals at this age, and I'm still like dumbfounded by that.
It's crazy
with how young they are.
Absolutely.
I'm still like, how are they doing this? Like they have the winning formula, and they're all young and they're still on contract, and like this team is here to stay, right? Like that's the scary thing.
Yeah.
They're not going to do much to change this offseason. Even if they lose this round, they're not going to change anything. They're going to run it back and probably be in the Western Conference Finals again next year.
Yeah.
No. So I think they have enough to beat the Wolves for sure. I think they're going to beat the Wolves, but it's going to be a real fun series.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into our predictions then. So we'll stay with the West right now. So why will the Thunder win this series?
I just think they have an all-around better team, better roster. I think they're right now, especially with Game 7, if they keep this way they're playing, this momentum they have right now.
And their defense has been so good too.
Yeah. Yeah, their defense in the beginning of the series was a little hit and miss because they were giving up points.
Yeah, but they
figured it out. Yeah, and I think they match up really, really good against the Wolves, right? Especially with like Hartenstein and Chet down there against like Randall and Rudy. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to eliminate Julius Randle.
You think?
I think they're going to. I mean, they match up perfectly with him. I don't think he'll really be a factor. I think he'll have his games, but no, I think SGA is going to prove that he's the best player in the world, we already know that. Yeah. But yeah, I just think they have a better team, better roster, and they're playing better right now.
I think the Thunder win because SGA is that guy.
Yeah.
And they, like your point, they have the pieces they can all, like their ceiling is so high. And if they're all hitting and they're playing lockdown, I mean, they can beat the Wolves.
Yeah. It does depend on Jalen Williams, though. Like,
yeah, that gets into why I think the Wolves can win.
Yeah, if he
but we're talking about the Thunder
stinkers,
winning. Yeah. The Thunder can win because they have great players in position to succeed that we know can play well. But now we're talking about why the Wolves can win and the Thunder can lose. I think on one, the Wolves can win obviously because the Wolves are a great team too. Because Ant's great, Randall's great. All their pieces are great. Like McDaniels is great. Reed, like they have so many great pieces.
For sure.
Like yes, they can win because they're a great team, but you also got to look at the other side. And I think what makes me a little nervous about the Thunder is just the lack of consistency behind SGA.
Yeah.
And Harton seems great defensively, getting boards. He'll get you 10 a game, points too. But like between just Chet and Jalen Williams, the scoring just isn't. It's not always consistent. We talked about it with Jalen Williams, and I think if the Thunder end up losing, that's going to be the conversation, is that the Thunder are going to have to get a legitimate number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the tough conversation they're going to have this offseason with Jalen Williams. Is like, because I remember when James Harden went to the finals back, what year was it, 2012 or 2013, whenever they went to the finals, that young OKC team, and Harden was putting up stinkers. I remember conversations like, is that just his ceiling? Like we've seen, like this is the best James Harden's going to be, or is it because he's just young, right?
Yeah.
And Jalen Williams, I think this is his third year,
He's still very young,
third year. So it's hard to figure out if this is his ceiling or if it's genuinely just he's figuring out as a young player in this league, and we just got to give him another year.
Yeah.
And if he does this again next year, then it's like we got to have that tough conversation. Yeah. But I think you'll have a bounce back series.
So who are you picking for?
Yeah, Thunder, and I think 6.
Really?
I would say. Yeah, I would say Thunder in 6, especially because they have the home court advantage.
And so I'm going to say it for my boys in Minnesota. I'm going to pick the Wolves to win this one.
Really?
I am.
And what?
I just think, again, I think the Thunder, they're playing great, and I think they've shown us what they're capable of. But I think the Wolves have yet to come alive.
Yeah.
And I think as they face, I think a lot of that too, it's not that the Lakers weren't real competition. They were, but I mean, they handled them easily.
Yeah.
And coming into the Warriors, I think they weren't really.
Yeah, so that obviously I can see the flip side to that, right? Is they might be going into this series thinking that like they don't, especially because of the level that they've played to so far, that they're not going to even crack probably 100 points if they play
for sure.
against
And so
Thunder, right?
I'm picking the other side of that. That as they face this competition, it's going to wake them up.
Yeah.
It's going to bring out the best in them.
I hope so.
I think we're going to see Ant just.
I hope we get an
coming
all-time
alive,
classic between
bro.
SGA and Ant.
Like I'm thinking it's going to be some.
Let's
But I think SGA is a better player, but I think Ant's going to outplay him.
No, we'll
is
see.
my prediction.
That's going to be a fun matchup.
And I think Randall's going to show out and have incredibly strong games.
Sure.
And I think the Wolves are going to win it.
All right,
I'll say Wolves in. I think it'll go to 7.
It's an all-time classic right there.
Yeah, I think it'll go to 7.
We'll see.
I think Wolves will get it.
I
do.
So.
And so looking at the East, I know we talked about a lot already, but why Pacers can win? I think it's just because, like we mentioned, that their depth
balance,
and their ability to have any of their 5 score. I think it can just get the Knicks off balance. I think it can make it hard to game plan against for the Knicks. And I think that they're able to then, and they push teams to their limit. Like they really have a way of just defensively and with their pace dragging teams along, getting the best of them. And
sure.
Like there is for sure a world where the Pacers can win this thing.
Yeah.
Every game is a different leading scorer.
Yeah,
like
they
Turner,
play, and you just
Siakam,
mentioned it.
Halliburton,
They play so high paced, right? Where they're running so fast down and back across the court. Where I can see that fatigue, that 44, 45 minutes a night, catching up to the Knicks in like game 3, game 4. Where it's like they've got to start playing those other guys. Yeah. And that's when it gets to like the depth part of the Knicks team versus the depth versus the Pacers.
For sure.
I just don't think they match up well against each other.
And so to me, that's why the Pacers can win. But now, why the Knicks can win? Because they're the best team in the world, baby. Come on. No. Bro, they're going to win.
No.
100%. Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6.
Get it written on the walls. Yeah. Knicks in 6, baby.
The Knicks, I mean, they're playing hot right now. They have the best player in the playoffs in Jalen Brunson. He's playing the best.
MVP of the playoffs.
Other than SGA. I mean, that in itself, I feel like I don't think they have an answer for Jalen Brunson.
He is the MVP of the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think they have an answer for Jalen Brunson. I mean, Halliburton, Nembhard, like those are, Nembhard's a solid defender.
Last year against the Pacers in the second round, Brunson averaged right about 30, if not over 30 a game.
Yeah. So
I think he's going to do that again.
Yeah.
They're not able to guard him.
Yeah, they're not. And I think the McCall trade is going to help them.
It's going to boost it. The Cat's going to boost it. And I think, again, every Knicks fan's looking at last year. And we took the Pacers to 7, but every single game we lost a start and we fell apart.
Yeah, I mean the
Pacers. The Knicks know that, and you gotta think, man. When you think of who is the hungriest team, like which team is the hungriest and most desperate to get to the finals?
Oh,
it is the New York Knicks.
It would mean the most for New York. Out of all the teams remaining, in these playoffs, New York, it would mean the most to get a chip.
Bro, like I'm just saying.
It'd be good for the NBA too.
For it. And the Wolves-Knicks finals.
Nobody wants a Pacers championship.
No, and Wolves-Knicks finals.
It's disgusting.
Would be so good for the league. Knicks and Wolves, baby.
Yeah,
Knicks will win it all.
That'd be fun.
And
we'll
then it'll be the Julius Randle versus Cat
revenge
trade.
series.
It'll be incredible.
Oh shoot,
it'll be incredible.
Cinema.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
It'll be an incredible series. And so yeah, I think Knicks, you got this. And I'm so proud of you guys for beating the Celtics. You did what you had to do. You listened to all you heard the advice. You listened to it. Kat, you showed up. OG and Mikal, you showed up. And Brunson, you did your thing, man. And I love that you didn't even have to dominate Game 7. Like, Brunson didn't have to do that because the guys around him, we had 4 guys over 20. And Josh Hart got his triple-double.
He did.
And so I think we got the Pacers, man.
We'll see.
And home court advantage in the playoffs as a 3rd seed, no one saw this coming.
Nobody did. No one saw this coming. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Go New York, go New York.
It's going to be a great series. So excited for it. We're going to talk about NFL some because the schedule came out. But, I mean, we'll talk about that more next week. All we'll say is my New York Giants have the hardest schedule.
We can mention really quick, the draft lottery happened. Just really quick, we saw the Mavs with a 1.8% chance jump up to number 1.
And they got it.
And win the Cooper Flag series.
They got it.
Sweepstakes.
They got it.
Yeah, they got it. So I feel like that's going to be a super interesting offseason, just draft, just to see.
I mean, they're not going to trade the pick.
No, I don't think they would. And if they do, I mean, you got to – Nico's got to be on.
Cooper Flag, AD.
Nico, you got to watch out. If they end up trading – can you imagine they trade Luka and then they trade Cooper Flag in the same offseason?
That would destroy.
Oh, no, they'd be stupid as heck for that.
Dallas would burn.
No, but that – I mean –
because the Cowboys are going to be terrible.
Yeah, so you trade away your franchise superstar in Luka Doncic, and in that same offseason you get Cooper Flag. So it's like it's a good trade. You get Anthony Davis and Cooper Flag for Luka.
But you know why? It's because the Lord is giving them favor because he knows the Cowboys are going to be terrible again.
Yeah,
he knows that the Cowboys are going to break Dallas's heart, and so he's a kind God.
Yeah,
and so he's blessing them with this first pick to keep them at least stable. Have something to look.
Shout out to God, man.
Because
but we
the
also
Cowboys will break their hearts.
They will. We also saw the Spurs get the 2nd pick.
Yeah.
And they have the 14th pick. And I know we have it all the time, but that is going to be. You got to watch out for the trade talks this offseason because with those picks, we know KD's potentially on the market.
A lot of potential.
Giannis is potentially on the market. Potentially Devin Booker on the market. So it's just going to be a fun offseason.
Yeah, a lot of potential. Hey, tune in next week. We're going to dive more into the over-under projections for the NFL as we get closer and closer to the off-season. Well, we're in the off-season, but things cooking up. We'll talk more about the conference finals next week. But thanks for listening. Go New York, go.
Peace.
Pray for the Knicks. We love you guys.
Peace.
See you next week.